Dr. Stacy Wallach is with us, Town and Country Veterinarian Hospital. And doctor, in terms of full disclosure, you are also the vet for Kelly Jackson's pet. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, good. We keep hearing about this dog flu. What's going on?
Well, we haven't seen it here in Missouri yet, so that's good.
That's good.
But I think it's coming.
What is it?
It's going to be here.
What is it, and how come we've never heard of it before?
Well, we have heard of it before. So canine influenza has been in the United States before, but it's different this time. So the flu that we are seeing in Chicago in this epidemic outbreak that has been occurring since March is now been discovered to be the Asian flu. So we have never seen this flu in the United States yet, and that's what's scary about it, is the fact that there's no animals that have any natural immunity to it. So any animal that's exposed to it is going to get it.
Okay.
So is this strain, is it more dangerous than the typical canine flu that we've had in the past?
It's not more dangerous. I mean, the flu is the flu, but because they have no natural immunity, that any animal that's exposed is going to get it. And when they get it, they're going to have either a mild form or a severe form. And the mild form is going to be your typical flu. You know, they're going to be maybe have a dry hacking cough. It's going to be similar to what you see with dogs that have kennel cough. Or they can have runny eyes, runny nose. They can have a little bit of a fever, maybe not feeling well, maybe not eating. Or they get the severe form, and that's the ones that we get concerned about. That's the ones that have a little bit more of that high fatality rate, which is still less than 10%. So we don't want to get too excited about it, but you know, they can be fatal. And we get dogs that get bacterial infections and they get pneumonia, and that's usually how they pass.
Can humans get this cold from the dogs?
They cannot, but we are seeing it in cats.
Okay, so
it is
cats
not
are getting
just,
it.
even though it's called canine influenza, we are seeing this Asian flu, not the old flu, but the Asian flu, the H3N2, that's the new one, are being seen in cats.
So a dog can give it to a cat, and a cat can give it to a dog?
Yes.
Okay, what about a shot?
So the vaccine that we have currently is the H3N8. That is the old canine influenza that we were seeing back in the early 2004, 2009 with that original outbreak. That is not the strain that we have now. The one that we have now is H3N2. So we do not know if that vaccine is going to do anything for our pets. We hope, because they share that H3 portion of the virus, that maybe there's going to be some cross-reactivity. Maybe that will lessen the clinical symptoms. Maybe instead of having a 10 to 30-day course, it's going to shorten it. Maybe they won't shed the virus as long, but we don't know if that's going to actually have any effect at all.
So is it recommended then to get your dog vaccinated against this?
Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of places, a lot of boarding, grooming, kennels that are already requiring it. So some places we don't have an option but to vaccinate. The vaccine is a kill vaccine, so it's a safe vaccination to give. I don't think there's a lot of harm unless we already know your animal has vaccine reactions to be giving the vaccination. And if there's any chance that it's going to prevent the infection, then I think it's okay to give. And I think until we get more information from Cornell and Wisconsin and some of the manufacturers of the vaccination, I don't know that we have the answers yet. We're getting more information daily on this virus and what's going on with it, but we just don't have that answer yet.
The outbreak is in Chicago, right?
Currently, it's in Chicago. I think it's hit a couple other states, but I do know for a fact that we have no, as of yesterday, we have no current cases in Missouri.
What about like other animals, whether it would be cows or horses? Are they getting it as well?
They are not. Now, we do believe that the old strain of influenza, the one that was in the United States years ago, and certainly is still floating around, we believe that that was a strain that started in horses. And mutated and came into the canine world. But this strain we do not believe is hitting any of the agriculture animals or horses at this time.
Is there anything a pet owner should do, should worry about, should try and avoid?
Well, I think the smart moves right now are to keep your animals away from highly populated areas, dog parks, boarding, grooming. I don't want to get everyone up in arms and get scared of going anywhere, But, it's not here yet, but I think it's still smart to avoid highly populated areas. And the same thing with your veterinary hospital. I mean, I hate to say that, but, it's not, if your animal is not horrifically sick, or even if they are sick, maybe make a phone call to the hospital and talk to your vet about the problem first, and then ask your vet if they're seeing any of the problems before bringing your animal in, because obviously the sick animals are going to end up at the hospitals.
Because it is.
So,
it is highly contagious. It's
it
airborne,
is
right?
extremely contagious, and the worst thing about this infection is that these animals are spreading the virus 2 to 4 days before they even show a symptom. So once it gets in this area, it's going to get everywhere, and it is airborne, and it gets on every surface, doorknobs, on your clothes, on you, and it stays there for up to 48 hours. But normal disinfectants will kill it, but you got to make sure you disinfect everything.
Let me ask you again. Can humans get the dog flu?
No.
No.
No, not at this point.
Right.
We don't know that it's going to mutate or not. And again, the studies are showing that no humans can get it, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Dr. Stacy Wallach, that is a chock full of information.
Well, I'm glad to give it to you.
Yeah, that was really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Town and Country Veterinary Hospital, Dr. Stacy Wallach, is there a website people can find out more about this stuff?
There's lots of websites. So you can go to the American Veterinary Medical Association. You can go to the Missouri Veterinary Medical Association. Cornell University, under the veterinary medical area, has a whole bunch of information. Google it. It's out there. They're updating that information daily.
Oh, boy, now I know why Kelly Jackson says you're the best.
She is the best.
Well, there you go.
Thank you, Kelly.
Dr. Stacy Wallach, Town and Country Veterinary Hospital. Thanks for coming in, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
Doc.
7:30 here, Big 550, KT.